Oh, should we go track down the offending lightning bolt source?
Well,
Probably.
well, I got three floating meteors around me. Says I can hit them.
Well, okay, yeah, I think we should go look. Just even if we lose him, at least we could say that we tried, and maybe we'll find some kind of clues on the other side of the lake.
So are we renting a boat or swimming?
I thought we were going around. I don't know. Oh, there's a bunch of boats already in the lake. That's right.
Well, if the lake's not that big, I would prefer to go around it because I don't want to get out in the middle and get hit by lightning.
Yeah, I'd rather stay in cover and on the shore than paddle across the lake.
How big is this lake supposed to be anyway? Is it gonna, that's why I wondered if we were able to go around or not, but we should anyway, just to investigate.
Each hex is a quarter mile, so that lake's half a mile to 3/4 of a mile across.
So probably maybe 2 miles to get around it.
Sounds about right.
Depending on, yeah, looking at it, 2, maybe 3 miles. We could do that walk in an hour.
But where would that guy be in an hour?
I'm not sure that we can row fast enough to make up the difference either.
True. He's got like a good head start on us while we were fighting wolves.
Well, whichever direction, because we saw him, so we should just go the direction we saw him.
Okay.
Yep.
I think we just go right after wherever he.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's see what's up there.
So what have you decided to do?
We're gonna go after that guy. Okay. Follow him into the woods.
Okay.
Anybody got good survival craft footprint capabilities?
I have a +6 survival.
Wow.
I have +5 for some reason. I don't know.
So Helga, does Carice or Mike have better survival skills?
I don't have shit for survival, but I'll give a help action.
Well, I was going to say, I mean,
+6.
if Pepperell has a +6, Helga with her +5 can help Pepperell, giving him advantage on the roll.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Nice up.
Huh? 22 will do.
Nice.
Yeah, well, okay. So you're able to make your way around Lake Zarovich and towards the north side. The Svalik woods are quite thick and heavy, and it takes you probably most of the day to get around the lake. And you get to the north side of the lake, north of the mountain lake. The trees begin their steady climb up the slopes of Mount Baratok. Its monolithic presence oppressive at this distance. The ground here is rocky and uneven and tiring to navigate. Even the wolves avoid this neck of the woods. Soon you climb above the blanket of fog that engulfs the valley. Dark thunderclouds roll overhead. You see an elk standing on a rocky spur about 60 feet away. Suddenly it assumes the form of a man in tattered black robes. His hair and beard are long, black, and streaked with gray, and his eyes crackle with eldritch power. And he is standing there 60 feet away from you, just staring at you.
Is this the guy I saw before?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, you recognize that this would be the same person.
I can yell, hey, why'd you kill the Uvar?
Yeah.
Why'd you kill the Uvar?
So you at this distance, you can now tell that the staff that he's holding is actually just a gnarled old tree branch. And when you ask him why he killed Uvar, he looks at you in a crazy manner and he says, You think my magic has grown weak? Think again.
Oh, damn it. Just a random crazy person killed the witness guy we needed to solve the mystery of the drowned girl.
How long did it take us to catch up to him?
So when you got to originally, so it was 10 o'clock, around 10 in the morning when you got to the Vistani camp. You waited about an hour, so it was probably about 11:30 to noon by the time that Pepperell and Helga got to Lake Zarovich. So it was probably close to 2 in the afternoon by the time you had to fight the wolves. It's now close to like 6 o'clock. It's starting to get dark.
Oh.
So you're,
Well, the reason I asked is my meters last for 10 minutes, and I was like, if we caught him within 10, I was going to throw one at him.
He points to Helga and he says, "Tell your dark masters that you can't break my body and you can never break my spirit." And then he starts to scramble up the rocks.
I don't think we're going to get any information out of this guy. Does anybody feel the need to confront him further, or he's just nuts, so...
Yeah, but nuts people usually know stuff they're not supposed to know, and it might be worth questioning them.
also
probably-
probably random people. How many other people is he killing or going to kill?
That's true, yeah.
So one thing here, somebody had asked this, I believe, last night. Greater restoration can cure madness.
Oh, well, great. I can do that then, I believe. Right? Alright. I swear you told me I had that a minute ago. Or do I have it anyway?
So what? Hold on.
No, I don't. Is greater restoration, let's see.
One of you guys had a scroll. And honestly, I think it was maybe Kiri Mraz may have had it. Or possibly Kira. But there was a scroll of greater restoration that was given out at the very beginning. Which feels like a long time ago, but it really wasn't. Carrie's, make a Arcana check.
I will do that. Let's see, what do we got? Throw this down. Arcana. That's gonna be a soft 20.
So on a soft 20, you are suspecting, well, first of all, you already know that this guy is a fairly powerful mage of some type. And you, watching his actions and whatnot, you get the feeling that he is suffering from a mind blank spell.
Let's see.
I'll definitely relay that to the party in black. This guy's batshit nuts, but it's not his fault.
So should we find out why he's batshit crazy?
Well, let's see, so it said that his eyes like had like eldritch badness in them or something.
Yeah, they're glowing a little bit, and there's smoke coming out of his eyes.
Yeah, with eldritch things, it's like the more that you learn, the more knowledge you get, the less sanity that you get to have. So he must have learned something that his human mind didn't handle, or it's just a spell on him, right?
Yeah, it
Right.
seems like he's under a spell.
Okay, so I don't know who has the greater restoration spell.
So in this case, you could also try dispel magic.
Okay.
Yeah, the only scroll I have right now is a protection of good and evil, or from good and evil.
Do you have dispel magic?
No, I do not.
Damn it.
You do as written.
under that thing that I did. That's the one where I could like force marry people and shit.
I only have lesser restoration. Like,
Well, I wonder if my crown of madness can trump his crown of madness. Be like, crown of madness, sit still and be calm. I order you to be Russian.
Your Arcana check also, when you suspect that he's suffering from a mind blank spell, you also suspect that if that is the case, knowing what you know about spell durations, it looks like he's got about 5 hours left for this spell before it wears off.
Well, I mean, I guess we could beat him with non-lethal damage and just knock him out and wait for it to wear off.
we could tie him up, right? Or
So do you want to attempt to attack him, or do you want to reason with him? Or attempt to reason with him? Or placate him, I guess?
I could try and use. I have a high charisma score. Like, the reason I don't have a strength modifier is because I put so much in charisma, and because they said you cast from that.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a 15 for charisma. Does anybody have better? Or
I have a 19 charisma, but I get advantage on intimidation checks. So any persuasion is kind of lacked.
I have a 19 in charisma, and I have persuasion and intimidation for a +7.
Wow.
I'll give someone a help action then, because I'm not nearly as suave as I thought I was.
Okay, so I guess it's between Curice and Pepperell. Which one of you wants to try to persuade him, and what are you saying?
Therese, try first, because once I try, it's not going to go well after.
I will try
Yeah.
a persuasion charisma check and be like, calm down, buddy. Calm down. It's okay. I rolled like crap. I got a 13 for my calm down. Among friends.
Did you do it with advantage? Did you have help?
Oh, no. Oh, that's a little better. 17 with advantage.
Okay, so you're like, calm down, and he he looks at you and he throws the tree branch down on the ground and goes, well, perhaps that is a good idea. Who are you?
We are friends, bro. We are friends. We come in peace. Then I give him one of my awkward smiles.
he looks at the ground and goes and blows up little parts of the ground and goes, I don't remember my name, but come with me. And he turns and he walks over to just a blank space. There's a little plateau on top of this mountain, on this mountain cliff, and he reaches out to air and pulls at the air, and you see the air shift, and suddenly you see a door that opens up, and beyond this portal that's just sitting in the middle of nowhere, there is a grand entrance to a mansion.
Cool.
I will walk up behind him like, hey, we have something in common. I don't remember your name either. And just totally start trying to be his friend.
He's smelly, he's dirty, there's like sticks and grass in his hair, and there's dirt all over him, but the inside of this mansion is immaculate. And off to the side there's a sitting room, or not a sitting room, on one side there's a sitting room that smells like pipe smoke, and on the other side there is a grand dining hall with just platters of food all over the place. There's a sideboard that is loaded with food. There's a grand banquet table that is loaded with food. And then there are 2 stairs that go up to the 2nd level where you can see that there are a number of rooms throughout this building.
So he's just got to ride out the madness while we.
He has gone into the middle of the foyer and started dancing a jig around the middle of the foyer.
I will bust out my flute and give them a melody to dance to.
I wouldn't mind dancing too. That sounds fun. Then maybe you can eat some food.
I mean, I got this flute and performance of noise musician. I might as well use it.
So, after about 5 hours, you guys eventually, you all can consider this as a long rest. You're in this mansion, invisible mansion out in the middle of Mount Baratok, and you can count this as a long rest. And you are sitting there at the banquet table, and he's just eating like a crazy person, just stuffing food into his mouth, and pieces of chicken and ham are getting stuck in his beard, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he suddenly, the demeanor of his actions and his face changes, and he looks at all of you and he says, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Welcome to my home away from home. I apologize for my actions."
It's all good, bro. I dig your casa.
He says, yes, just a trifling spell, magnificent mansion. He says, I'm sorry, I didn't get your names.
I'm Helga, Paladin.
Oh.
Mike.
I'm Carrie's. And I pull out my little doll from my little zombie head doll, and I start petting its hair, and I'm like, I love your place.
He looks at your doll and he goes, "That is an abomination."
So that's why he's adorable.
Finally, someone agrees with me in this place.
He says,
Adorable.
he says, "It is fortuitous that you have found me. Unfortunately, you found me at my greatest, not at my greatest strength, but my name is Mordenkainen. He says, I came to Barovia to vanquish Strahd and put things right. I was a part of a group of adventurers called the Circle of 8. I trust that you've been summoned to Barovia and have become trapped as I did. Unfortunately, my attempt to depose Strahd failed with a great many deaths."
And so that's why did Strahd cast that madness spell on him?
Actually, no, I cast that on myself.
What? Why?
So he cast Mind Blank on himself to prevent Strahd from learning anything of who he is. So this is the Mordenkainen.
So he is like crazy witness protection on himself.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, this is the Mordenkainen from the prime material plane Orth. Planeswalker, etc., Archmage, etc. He tells you, he says, "We mustn't allow this vampire lord to control our destinies, nor that any more of the land in which he lives. These people need to be freed. And should Strahd find a suitable replacement for himself, his curse will be broken and he will be allowed to leave Barovia. this would be a dire consequence for all of the planes of existence.
Well, I mean, I would really like to leave this area, and yeah, it sounds like we're gonna have to get rid of him just so I can go home.
All of you make a persuasion check. This will be a group check.
Yes.
I got 17. Can you do anything to help us since he killed our only lead in the drowned girl mystery? Is that what we're trying to persuade him to do, or something else?
So, well, what did you guys get for your persuasion checks?
15.
Nice.
11.
Okay.
17.
I'm sorry, Helga, what'd you get?
17.
Okay. And Carice?
22.
So half of you made it, so that is a group check success. So he tells you that he remembers bits and fragments of his time during the mind blank spell, and he had witnessed Uvar go out into the middle of the lake and defile Aribel and drown her. But at the time he wasn't able to do anything about it. But when he saw Uvar come out again, he decided that Uvar needed to be stopped permanently, and that is why he struck his boat with lightning and destroyed him. He agrees to aid you when the time comes to put down Strahd. He obviously the time is not yet, but he says that when that time comes, he will be there to aid you in your destined assault against the Lord Strahd von Zarovich of Barovia.
So this guy is famous? Is that right?
Yeah.
Or
So
Famous.
okay. Is there a way he could write something down for me to give to Aribel's family? Not about the defiling, but about, how he saw him drown her and then destroyed him? Because that might mean a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, he can write down a he tells you, scratch that. He tells you that he can write down something in the form of being an anonymous witness to what happened. And he
Sure.
tells you that not all Vistani are to be trusted. He said many of the Vistani are actually employed in the graces of Count von Zarovich himself, and if he were to be proclaimed as a witness to what happened to poor Aribel, the word of his survival would go back to Strahd. Now this,
Okay.
so when you met Madame Ava, the Vistani in that camp told you a story about a crazy wizard that had led a revolt against Strahd and had banded the peasantry together, and that all of the peasantry basically ended up dying, presumably, in that assault, and that they saw the wizard that Strahd had thrown him from the battlements of Castle Ravenloft, and that he had fallen down into the river, and they never found the body.
Oh, okay.
It was also during that assault that the priest in Barovia, the village of Barovia, that he had assumed that his son had been killed, and that unfortunately a few weeks later his son returned to him as a vampire spawn because Strahd thought it was funny to mess with him.
Okay.
So Mordenkainen's failure was pretty huge.
Yeah.
I will look at the party. Do you think you would know anything about that epic sword that we heard about? And try not to let them know that we have the hilt.
He tells you, he says it is absolutely important, of dire importance, before you attempt to make any assault on Strahd, that you recover the Sun Sword, the holy symbol of Ravenkind, and the Tome of Strahd. Those
Okay.
3 items. And he looks at Helga and he says, I see that you have already procured the holy symbol of Ravenkind.
Ah, okay. So like on my shield, it's like a Lathander symbol.
No, it is the holy symbol that you found in the chapel in Castle Ravenloft.
Oh.
And he points to it. It is a sun-shaped medallion with a red sapphire in the middle of it. And he points at it and says, that is the holy symbol of Ravenkind. And to tell you what this does, you never really followed up on it. It does require attunement by a cleric or a paladin of good alignment.
Okay.
The holy symbol of Ravenkind is a unique holy symbol sacred to the good-hearted faithful of Barovia. It predates the establishment of any church in Barovia. According to legend, it was delivered to a paladin named Lugdana by a giant raven, or an angel in the form of a giant raven. Lugdana used the holy symbol to root out and destroy nests of vampires until her death. The high priests of Ravenloft kept and wore the holy symbol after Lugdana's passing. The holy symbol is a platinum amulet shaped like the sun with a large crystal embedded in its center. The holy symbol has 10 charges for the following properties. It regains 1d6 plus 4 charges daily at dawn. As an action, you can expend 1 charge and present the holy symbol to make it flare with holy power. Vampires and vampires spawn within 30 feet of the symbol when it flares must make a DC 15 wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the target is paralyzed for 1 minute. It can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns to end the effect on itself. It can turn undead. If you have the turn undead or the turn the unholy feature, you can expend 3 charges when you present the holy symbol while using that feature. When you do so, undead have disadvantage on their saving throws against the effect. Sunlight. As an action, you can expend 5 charges while presenting the holy symbol to make it shed bright light in a 30-foot radius and dim light for an additional 30 feet. The light is sunlight and lasts for 10 minutes or until you end the effect. No action is required.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So,
Shut that up, Strahd's ass, and turn into sunlight.
the Tome of Strahd seems to be the thing that we're missing completely. Does he know where that might be?
I'm sorry, what was your question?
Does the wizard know where the Tome of Strahd might be?
He might. Hold on here. Let's see. He says, he's unsure of where the tome may be, but he knows that the tome would reside somewhere in Castle Ravenloft.
All right. Good to know. I'm excited for this guy to help us when the time is right. So definitely we'll keep a secret.
As for your question about the Sun Sword, he relates a tale that basically he relates the same information about the sword that you already know, but he tells you that at one point that Strahd, when he had taken the sword from his brother Sergei, he had employed a powerful wizard named Kazan to destroy the weapon. And the first part of the process was that the hilt and the blade, which the blade was made of crystal, were to be separated, and Kazan did that. And while Kazan was busying himself destroying the blade, his apprentice stole the hilt and fled. Unfortunately, Kazan later located the apprentice and mutilated the corpse in the Svalek woods, but the hilt was nowhere to be found. And to avoid the vampire's wrath, Kazan told Strahd that the entire weapon had been destroyed.
Well, does he know where the blade is? Maybe we can track that part down and take on random checks. But
to his knowledge, the physical blade of the Sun Sword has been destroyed. It is no more. It cannot be reforged, but the sword itself still functions.
oh, okay.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, which Pepperell's carrying around the anti-vampire lightsaber.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew we had it, but I was trying to do it to a way that we didn't let the wizard know we had it.
Right? Yeah, he's not aware that Pepperell has it, but he could clearly see that the holy symbol was around Helga's neck.
So it's up to you if you want to show him the sword.
I'm not necessarily interested in sharing that information at this point.
I think that's why I was kind of less knowledge is more important at this point.
Pepperell and
I'm starstruck by this guy, so I'm just gonna blurt it out like a moron. I have a feeling that's what my character would do.
By the way, we're just standing there.
You mean that right there?
Yeah, I'll be.
yeah. So yeah,
Sorry, y'all.
he doesn't. I mean, he says that is good that you have 2 of the 3 items. We need to have all 3 before we can truly put an end to Count von Zarovich. Pepperell and Carice, make a history check. And you can make that with advantage since you guys are casters of the arcane arts.
3 or 0?
Wow.
Soft 20.
So,
I should roll really well. Soft 20.
so Carice, on your soft 20, so like Helga is kind of starstruck because I mean, you know that recently, before you had come to Barovia, that there was a tome that had made its way to the Sword Coast, and there was much talk about it, called Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, and nobody knows how this tome came about or where it came from, but it is now clear that it has made its way to the Sword Coast via across the plains in some manner. And there was a lot of talk about it. There were multiple copies, several, that were floating around. And it basically detailed, Mordenkainen's views on certain creatures such as hags, or treatises on devils and treatises on giants, things like that. So this is why Helga would be starstruck by it. But Carice, you know from history that Mordenkainen is not this grand heroic figure that a lot of people view him as. He's essentially what you know. The truer history is that he's really, and the entire adventuring group that he traveled with, the Circle of 8, you know that they were all very self-serving. Now, on his best days, it can be said that Mordenkainen, he's not good, but he's not evil. He's done questionable things, usually in his own self-interest. He's done good things, but again, usually in his own self-interest. And
would I say he's more true neutral or chaotic neutral?
You would see him more. That's a good question. Probably more chaotic neutral. You know that, like I said, on his best days, most people, sages, would say that Mordenkainen is attempting to maintain a balance in the multiverse. You don't want good getting too good. You don't want evil getting too evil. But the reality is that that's all bullshit. And the reality is that he's really more in it for himself. If he's achieving a balance, in what way is that helping Mordenkainen? Is the way that he looks at it.
Seems like my kind of guy. I could hang out with him.
Yeah, little metagame. Early D&D characters, alignment wasn't really so much an issue. They were pretty much in it for themselves. They weren't grand heroes trying to save the world from things. They were like, okay, let's kick down this door, kill these things, and take their shit. That was the whole goal of early D&D parties, and Mordenkainen is definitely a product of that time.
I can dig it.
Can you help us come up with a cool name for our group like he did with his?
I encourage all of my groups to come up with a name. So like my two, what I refer to as the family games, they have their first group was the Greenwater Mercantile and Adventuring Company that spawned their second group, which was a charter school they had created, for training new adventurers, the Charter School for Wayward Bastards. So the Wayward Bastards are their current group, and then there is another group that's attached to Greenwater, the Ye Old School Boys Mercenary Company. I've encouraged the other groups to come up with names, but none of them have really stuck so far.
I'll have to try and think of one while we're playing.
I think the Saturday group, I think their the last name that they had that had stuck with them was like Libris Infernum, liberating hell.
Fiery freedom.
Yes. Well, they just got out of Avernus, so yeah. I mean, if you guys want to come up with names, you can toss that around in the Facebook Messenger group and see what's, throw it at the wall and see what sticks. But yeah, I heavily encourage people to come up with names for their group. It's really funny. So Mordenkainen's group was the Circle of Eight, and the group before that, actually many, many, many years before that, was Tasha's group, and that was the Company of Seven.
We could go with the Honey Badgers because they don't give a fuck.
So Mordenkainen's just gonna happen to show up at the right time. That's what we're gonna.
So yeah, Mordenkainen agrees that when the time is right, he will aid you in your assault on Strahd von Zarovich in some way, whether that be slinging high-level spells or what have you. But
I would like to respectfully ask him, that's awesome that you're willing to help us at that point. Is there anything you can do to help us prepare for what we need to do to get to that point?
Make a persuasion check.
Come on, persuasion. It's a 16.
So, on a 16, he can grant you a few items that may assist you further.
We would greatly appreciate it, because shit's getting rough out there. People are getting crazy. You been outside lately?
Crovid everywhere?
Crovid.
Right?
Yes. Where Raven Lycanthropy, it's Crovid. The first thing he gives you is he gives you a bag of holding.
Oh, nice. Real?
Yep.
Wow.
He says, he says he knows that being an adventurer, you can always benefit from a bag of holding. And when he's to give these out, he leads you out of the dining hall and into his side room and lights a pipe. And there's a number of chests and bookshelves all around. And he pulls out. He says he knows that being an adventurer, you're going to always need a bag of holding to carry around your various accoutrements. This can hold up to 500 pounds, not exceeding a volume of 64 cubic feet. But no matter what's in it, the bag always weighs 15 pounds.
We shove Strahd in there and sink it to the bottom of the lake.
He also gives you, he gives each of you a 10-foot pole and a pouch that has, and each pouch has 10 iron spikes in it. He says, don't ever go anywhere without your 10-foot pole and without your iron spikes. He gives Pepperell hold on, I'm trying to decide what he gives Pepperell. Actually.
Cloak resistance plus 20.
Right.
Pepperell, roll percentage.
Oh my god, never get to use percentages.
19.
He gives you a potion of fire breath.
Thank you, sir. I look forward to having halitosis in the future.
Helga, roll a percentage.
Okay. 77.
He gives you... Actually, I gotta look this up to see what this is.
You got an 11-foot pole. Huh?
He gives you a pouch that contains dust of dryness.
I'm only sweating because I'm nervous. No.
This small packet contains 1d6 plus 4 pinches of dust. Let's find out exactly how many pinches of dust. Wow, it's got 10 pinches of dust in it. You can use an action to sprinkle a pinch of it over water. The dust turns a cube of water 15 feet on a side into one marble-sized pellet, which floats or rests near where the dust was sprinkled. The pellet's weight is negligible. Someone can use an action to smash the pellet against a hard surface, causing the pellet to shatter and release the water the dust has absorbed. Doing so ends the pellet's magic. An elemental composed mostly of water that is exposed to a pinch of the dust must make a DC 13 Constitution saving throw. taking 10d6 necrotic damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one.
How much damage do you have? Sorry, I'm writing it down.
10d6 necrotic damage on a failed save.
Okay. All right. Wow, that's a cool thing.
Mike, roll percentage. Wow.
Nice.
That's either really good or really bad.
This is. I have an idea for this, but it is ridiculous and it is hilarious.
Always good.
Is it Wirt's leg? It's Wirt's leg.
No, it's better than Wirt's leg. I was thinking the other day of making a weapon for you. I was going to recreate Jeff's stick. So you see sitting in a corner in the sitting room, there is a rack, and on this rack is a saddle. And he says, I don't know why you would need it, but if you would like that as saddle of the Cavalier. While in the saddle on a mount, you cannot be dismounted against your will if you are conscious. And attack rolls against the mount have disadvantage. So the funny idea was actually putting it on Mike and having somebody else ride Mike. He says, yeah, I don't know why you would want that, but if you do, you can have it or you can roll again.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of mount Mike would ride.
I know, Mike is a mount. I don't...
Mike gets a pony. You give Mike a pony to ride.
Right?
Pony.
It's the point of being hilarious.
34.
He gives you Potion of Resistance. So, let's see here. Potion of Resistance. And roll a d10.
Four.
So he gives you a Potion of Resistance versus force damage.
Versus force.
The magic missile for you.
So you drink that potion and you will take half damage from any force damage for 1 hour.
So no Jedi's. Got it.
And Carice, roll percentage.
62.
Yeah, you'll like this. Let's see here. Actually, let's give you something new.
Easy cutie.
He gives you a spell scroll of Summon Shadow Spawn.
Nice.
So, Summon Shadow Spawn, you call forth a shadowy spirit. It manifests in an unoccupied space that you can see within range. This corporeal form uses the Shadow Spirit stat block. When you cast a spell, choose choose an emotion: fury, despair, or fear. The creature resembles a misshapen biped marked by the chosen emotion, which determines certain traits in its stat block. The creature disappears when it drops to 0 hit points or when the spell ends. The creature is an ally to you and your companions. In combat, the creature shares your initiative count, but it takes its turn immediately after yours. It obeys your verbal commands, no action required. If you don't issue any, it takes the dodge action and uses its move to avoid danger. Let's see here. So Shadow Spirit looks like it has 35 hit points. It has an AC of 11. Oh wait. It has an AC of 14 actually. It can move 40 feet. If you use Fury as the emotion, it can do Terror Frenzy. The spirit has advantage on attack rolls against frightened creatures. If you use Despair, it has Weight of Sorrow. Any creature other than you that starts its turn within 5 feet of the spirit has its speed reduced by 20 feet until the start of that creature's next turn. Bonus actions. If you have given it the Fear emotion, it gets Shadow Stealth. While in dim light or darkness, the spirit takes the Hide action as a bonus action. It can make, let's see here, equal to half the spell's level. So it gets 1 attack. It has the chilling.
Don't worry about it. Go to use it, I'll look it all up.
Okay, it's got Chilling Rend. It uses your spell attack modifier to hit. And it can do a Dreadful Scream once per day. Wisdom save versus being frightened. So yeah. So that's what he gives you. Actually. So, that is what he gives you. He says that he's not sure that these items will be able to help you, but hopefully these will aid you in your further journeys in Barovia. And he reaches over, and there's a small end table with a pipe stand on top of it, and underneath he opens up the cabinet underneath, and it looks like a mini refrigerator in there. And he reaches in and he pulls out a carton of buttermilk and takes a big chug off of it.
Gross.
Yes. He has much to digest.
So, what would you guys like to do from here?
We gotta go back and tell the parents of that girl that the murder has been destroyed.
Okay. So, yeah, he writes down like an anonymous account for you. Doesn't sign his name. He just writes down what he saw and sends you off on your way back to the Vistani camp. And you get back to the Vistani camp, and it's now been the next day. Excuse me. And there we go. And you come into the camp, and Aribel and Luvash see you come into camp, and they're like, "So, did you find who had done something to my dear Aribel?"
Yes, he did. It was Uvar, and he has been slain.
Luvash is a bit in shock. He says, "Really? Have you brought proof of this?"
And I'll hand over my letter that we got from a witness.
Okay.
And I'll tell him there's probably still chunks of his smoldering boat in the lake if you want to go look. They're floating around out there.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check at advantage.
Okay. Is 14 going to be enough, or
Yeah.
I can? Okay, that'll be all right.
Yeah, 14's good. So you guys tell him, you hand him the note and tell him that the smoldering remains are probably still floating around the lake, and Luvash reaches into his leather armor and he pulls out a rolled up piece of paper, or rolled up piece of parchment. And he says, well, then I guess we won't be needing this. And he says, do with it what you will. And he hands it to you. The note is sealed with the wax insignia of Lady Fiona Wachter from Vallaki. And when you open it, it is a letter to Luvash, Prince Luvash of the Vistani is the title that she uses, stating that the interlopers are a problem, dispatch them.
Yeah, alright, I can see that.
Now, if you remember, you kind of killed the Burgermeister of Vallaki, and it is now assumed, you're not positive what's going on still, because it's only been like 3 days. You're not positive, but it's looking like Fiona Wachter would be the new Burgermeister of Vallaki. And this is clearly a letter to the Vistani to, basically she put a hit out on you.
Maybe that kick to the face from Strahd's horse made her a little weepy.
Yeah. Maybe that improved her attitude a bit. So the question from here is, what do you guys want to do from here? I mean, this broad just tried to have you killed. I mean, you might be understandably upset about that.
We could go confront her,
or you can do whatever. Yeah, it's up to you.
Don't we still have the side quest of taking the lady to the Abbey?
You do. Yeah. She and her brother are still back, along with the 2 orphans, are still back at the Blue Water Inn.
Aww. But yeah, we should do that quest. We should try and tie loose ends before more bad things happen.
Okay. So you're heading back to the Blue Water Inn then, and packing up to move on. Is that a
I think
appropriate?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds correct to me. That's what I want to do.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. All right. Hold on just a moment. Let me take a short break so that I can stretch my knee out, and I will be right back.
We'll go get some cider. I'll be back.
All right.
Make a big change. I'm not sure. I haven't actually looked it up. Doubles your size. You get advantage on strength and saving throws. Your weapon grows, adding a extra d4 to your attacks. Mm-hmm. So I can make you small, Mike. So you can fit in doorways. We gotta go into the Hobbit's house, Mike, and we're gonna make you smaller. How tall are you? 7'2". It'd make you 3.5 foot. You'd be 3 foot 7 inches. I could carry you on my shoulders. We could make you small, then you go into rage mode and be adorable.
The raging little person.
A raging 3 foot tall minotaur.
Raging veal.
Right? Yeah, that's weird. No real summoning. It's super weird. Well, if cleric gets to conjure a celestial level, or at 7th. But I mean, that's a long ways to go. Well, there's some guardian spirits. Yeah, druids get the elemental starting at 4th level spells. Rangers get to conjure animals
Okay.
at 3rd level. Yeah, wizards and sorcerers don't really get shit concentration. That is weird.
What are you looking at?
Oh, I was looking up, when you gave me that scroll, I was like, oh yeah, I wonder what conjuration spells I can, do as a sorcerer. And they really seem to nerf the conjuration under or for sorcerers and wizards.
A bit, yeah.
Like, yeah, there's like no summon minor animal or beast or any of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of that, a lot of the summoning spells for like animals or beasts were relegated to like druids and rangers. But a lot of them, I've noticed that a lot of them just seem to be missing outright.
That's what I mean. Like, I was looking at all the different ones, and yeah, there's a lot missing.
Yeah, yeah.
And the few that they left are real high level spells.
Right, yeah. Well, and the ones that are left are like, oh, here's, summon planar ally, or here's summon demon, or it's like, well, what if I just want to summon a dire badger? I mean,
Yeah, like rangers get it, but even that don't get till third level spell.
Right,
so
right.
You can do that until you're level 6 or higher.
Yeah.
No, that was weird.
Yeah, they did nerf they did nerf some of the casting abilities of some of the classes, but like the biggest classes that stick out to me that have been nerfed for casting is Rangers and Paladins. And I really feel that a lot of that has to do with the fact that, you know, alternatively, you had 4th edition where everybody was a caster. I mean, every turn, a fighter, when you used a feature, was basically casting that as a part of their ability. And it
at will or encounter or daily.
Right, and it just got dumb. I mean, so I really feel like they were trying to tone that down, but it almost feels like compared to 3rd edition, they kind of went a little too far.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed the cleric, their heal spells seem to be a lot less potent than they used to be.
Right. Well, and I remember when 5th edition first came out, they kept proclaiming, "Oh, well, you don't need clerics as much anymore because everybody can be a healer." And I'm like, no, that's bullshit. I mean,
no, short list hit dice is about it.
Right. Yeah, you're not going to have you're just not going to have the raw horsepower in healing that a cleric can do. A paladin is very close second, but you're just not going to have that raw burst of healing that you can do as a cleric. So you guys travel towards the town of Kresk. All that you know about the town is that from what you've heard, it is a walled town. Vallaki could be said to be walled as well, but they consider Kresk to be quote unquote fortified. So everybody there takes their vitamins. And overlooking the town, up a hill, at the top of the hill, is the Abbey of St. Markovia. And you come to the fork in the road that you had gone down previously to go to the Wizard of Wines. The road branches north and climbs a rocky escarpment, ending at a gatehouse built into a 20-foot high wall of stone reinforced with buttresses every 50 feet or so. The wall encloses a settlement on the side of a snow-dusted mountain spur. Beyond the wall, you see the tops of snow-covered pines and thin white wisps of smoke. The somber toll of a bell comes from a stone abbey that clings to the mountainside high above the settlement. The steady chime is inviting, welcoming change from the deathly silence and oppressive fog to which you have grown accustomed. It's hard to tell at this distance, but there seems to be a switchback road clinging to the cliffs that lead up to the walled settlement of the abbey. So as you're climbing, the Old Zvalik road is climbing up in elevation, and there's starting to be snow on the ground. The question then comes in, what kind of clothing are you guys wearing?
A kilt and a cloak.
Yeah, you're getting cold.
Don't forget.
So it's
Half plate.
yeah, it's not like you guys were geared for cold weather. So you are quite chilly.
Right for the cloak.
You're what?
Regular commoner's clothes with a black cloak.
Okay.
So kind of jackety, but not really.
Okay. Shit. Hold on just a minute. I need to go grab a couple more maps.
to envision what my character looks like is a teenager that shopped at Hot Topic during the late 90s. Back when it was still kind of Hot Topic and creepy, but still a little cheesy. Especially since, like, I'm all in black and red. I got a zombie head on me. Got weird doll collection going on.
Mike doesn't need clothes.
You just can't have me back or friends or no friends.
Nope.
Like back home, maybe with Cowboy talking about being with Jack. She's got you a big on my If you want to do the dinner, love,
I don't know.
we still got leftover lasagna
Okay.
and a little bit of orange chicken. That's about it as far as leftovers.
That's fine.
Something like you know to pick up on community stuff. But there's still a lot of days from Thursday. So we'll go back to the store tomorrow at yams. And I want to pick out a meal or two for us.
Start until Thursday.
Huh?
Nope. Start until Thursday.
You're coming around in my bag. Coffee and vitamins. A lot better than nothing. That's what you were saying.
Bessie.
Sorry about that. I keep forgetting that for some reason the map pack that I have for this was in a it's in a PDF file, which is a pain in the ass because that means that you have to basically copy and then paste into Paint each of these maps. And I don't know, just a dumb way of doing it. Let's see here.
In D&D Beyond, I think you can save the image directly.
Right, but I have to have an image first. Let's see here. No, that's not gonna work. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Damn it. Click the wrong button. There we go. So, I'll do this. That's better. Yeah. Helps the upload, or helps the upload if I have something to upload first. The cat has come and decided to sit in my dice tray.
It fits, it sits.
Right, right. There we go. Okay.
Doesn't seem to be. And make it that a school.
All right, there we go.
But it was helping more after that. Let's keep going. I think it's perfect.
So obviously, this map's not exactly to scale, but it gives you an idea. So you come to the gatehouse. The air grows colder as you approach the walled settlement. Two square towers with peaked roofs flank a stone archway into which is set a pair of 12-foot tall, iron-bound wooden doors. Carved into each arch above the door is the name Kresk. The walls that extend from the gatehouse are 20 feet high. Atop the parapet, you see 4 figures wearing fur hats and clutching spears. They watch you nervously.
I would hope so. 20 foot tall at this point.
Everybody make perception checks.
First, how's that got to
Pepperell gets a 17.
I got a 10.
13.
Perception?
Yeah.
19.
So Pepperell and Carice, you look up and you see a number of these fur hat, wearing guards along the top of this wall. However, you also realize that not all of them are real. Some of these so-called guards are nothing more than mop handles with a fur hat put on them and appear to be clutching swords or spears, rather. Oh, I put you guys in the wrong place.
They're scared peoples.
Let's be friendly. Let's be like, howdy.
I laugh.
That's what I want to do. I just want to be nice to the nervous people. Because we're here for a good reason. Got nothing to hide, really.
So, yeah, as you approach the gate, one of the guards on top of the wall yells out, "Halt! Who goes there? Who approaches the fortified town of Kresk?"
The honey badgers.
Because we don't give.
I'll tell him my name and why we're here. Because need to deliver a lady to the St. Markovian people.
He
Right?
says, "A lady? We already got one, you see."
Several, yes. They look very nice.
What did he say?
Smell of elderberries.
My holy seal of bald. I'm here to talk to you about the savior of life and death.
Can we come in and talk to you about the cult of the crushing wave?
Yeah. There's always something for that, isn't there?
He says, and why would we want to let in this lady that you are bringing to us? And why do you have a couple of, what are those, peasant children?
They're orphans that we saved because we're good.
Make a persuasion check.
Yeah. I rolled a 1, so I'm gonna use a lucky. Can I use lucky to reroll that?
Yes, you can.
Holy crap.
With my charisma, can I give her the help action
Yes.
for event?
Okay. Well, alright, I rolled a 20 that time, so.
Okay. So with a 20, that was a nat 20?
Yeah.
Very nice. So he says the two guards kind of confer with one another, and the one guard says, "Hold on a moment," and you see the two guards climb down. The other two that are on the gatehouse, you notice that they, unlike the previous two that you were talking to, who were armed with spears, the other two are armed with longbows. And the two with spears climb down off the wall and out of sight behind the wall, and you are left waiting for about 20 minutes. And then after 20 minutes of sitting out shivering in the cold, you hear the bar lift from the gate, and these two immense wooden doors open up, and a man wearing a fur-lined cloak and a large, Russian-style fur cap comes out and introduces himself as Dmitry Krezkov, Burgomaster of Krezk. How may I assist you?
I'm trying to remember the story of this woman that we needed to bring.
So you are escorting Irina Koliana and her brother.
Yeah.
Hold on here. Now I need to look because I'm brain blanking. I'm like, what were their names again?
Can't think, so.
Names are like the worst part of being a dungeon master, trying to remember who all these people are. So Irina Koliana and where is her brother? Her brother Ismark the Lesser are the two that you are escorting, and Strahd is evidently enamored with Irina and has visited her twice and bit her. And so if she likely gets bit a third time at this point, she would be turned in some way. But Strahd is absolutely obsessed with her. And so the idea was that she would be safe in the Abbey of St. Markovia. You don't know how truthful that is, but this certainly looks like an impressively secure town.
Cool. So we can explain that to them, right?
Sure. So the first thing that you notice about Dmitry Krezkov is that he's clearly a noble, and it is clear that he expects to be treated as one. Tassie, stop it. He's, I guess you could say a bit snooty, but it's more of a case of he is a noble, expects to be treated as one because that is his station and rank.
Gotcha.
Not so much that, he's a snobby dick about it, just that, that's the way it is. So, I'm the boss and you need to treat me as such. And he lets you in, but tells you, he says, you're not safe here. The safety of my town is paramount to my responsibilities, and bringing such a woman to my town is putting everyone in peril.
Wow, his IQ's not like 60.
Right.
So, let's see.
Is she making her case? Is the Abbey willing to take her? What's the response on
Well, so
her
let's
going to the Abbey?
we've been to Strahd's manor, and we went in the catacombs, and all the wives that he had were like turning into vampire spawn, and so if she's able to remain safe, then that's one less horrible thing that'll get spawned out of this situation. Or we heard that if Strahd finds a replacement, then he can leave, right? And is that part of the deal with him getting married so many times? Is he trying to like have children or something? Like, what do we know anything about?
So,
what they meant?
The legend is that Strahd was in love with a woman that was his brother Sergei's fiance, and on the morning of their wedding day, Strahd killed his brother and then tried to essentially marry his wife, and that she threw herself from the parapets, and that led to Strahd becoming what he is. But you're not exactly certain why he's so enamored, but you've seen that he's clearly had a number of wives throughout the years. And you're not clearly certain on that either. It could just be, a lot of these wives, like some of them, he turned into vampire spawn and then buried in the crypts and then sealed the crypt. So some of these wives could be, out of like some form of noble obligation that the noblemen of a land should be married. Those unions rarely end well, so it's possible that was the case with some of those. Maybe he was just bored. Hey, vampires got to get some, so maybe that had something to do with it. But he go ahead and make another persuasion check. He's going to need convincing.
Can I help on that one also?
Yes.
Oh, I rolled really. The best roll I got was an 8.
So he agrees. He says that you can stay with me and my wife for one night, but after that, it is probably wisest that you leave. And he leads you into the town. As he's leading you in, he tells you that he says, well, the Abbey of Saint Markovia is named after a priest of the Morning Lord who took a stand against the devil Strahd. After a fierce uprising, Markovia and her most loyal followers stormed Castle Ravenloft, only to be destroyed. The abbey was once a hospital and a convent, but it fell on hard times after the land was swallowed up by the mists. Some of the clergy fell prey to Strahd, while others went mad and either starved themselves to death or turned to cannibalism. Currently, the leader of the abbey is a man that is simply known as the abbot. He arrived about a century ago and hasn't aged a day since. He occasionally visits the shrine of the White Sun, but he doesn't talk very much, and he demands tribute in the form of wine. No one knows his true name or where he came from, and many believe he is Strahd's servant, or possibly the vampire himself in disguise. I personally don't believe that, but he is not an amiable man. You notice as you're walking through the town towards the Burgomeister's lodge that you don't see that there's a tavern or inn. In fact, if you look at the map of the town, you'll see that this isn't laid out like a normal town at all. That it is really, it's overgrown. It's like they didn't clear the forest, or that they replanted the forest inside the walls of the town. And you can see a number of these homes have, smoke coming out of their chimneys and whatnot, but the town itself is more of like a collection of houses. There's no inn, there's no tavern, you don't see a mercantile, you don't see a general store, there's no shops, they're just all homes. And all of these people have, each house has its own little small plot of farmland, what you would call today like, just a garden plot. Instead of a backyard, they have a garden. And there's some houses that have a couple of cows, or they have a couple of chickens, but you don't see any large farmland, you don't see any shops.
Does this seem like enough to actually sustain the number of people? Because just like a garden plot, really?
Well, what you're seeing, it looks like each household is attempting to supply most of its own goods. And he notices you looking around the town, and he says, residents here, they never leave the village for fear of being attacked by the wolves. Werewolves. There is a lair of werewolves nearby. And he tells you about once a month a wagon load of wine arrives from the Wizard of Wines from the winery to the south. You may have noticed the Wizard of Wines is owned by the Baratok family. I unfortunately had the dire situation of losing my 14-year-old son Ilya to illness, but you don't need to worry. There's not illness rampantly moving throughout the town. My wife, please forgive her. She's quite silent about the whole affair. Ilya was our last son. And he leads you to his home. You notice in the distance that in the town, at the edge of the town up here, there is a pond. Pond, lake, they just call it a pool. North end of the village that provides fresh water throughout the year. Next to the pool, the villagers have, or the ancestors of the village have built a shrine to the Morning Lord, and that it consists of a small gazebo. And he points at that and he says, that is the shrine of the White Sun. We usually hold our religious ceremonies there. And he opens the door to his lodge, and he calls out to his wife and says, please, we have guests. They will be staying with us for the night. Can you please make some beds available? And she comes out, and immediately her face changes from being, when you first look at her, she is obviously just sorrow-ridden, but she sees the two orphans, and her face glows. She lights up, and she says, we have not had children in so long, not since Ilya died. Please come in, stay. And she brings the children into the kitchen, and she says, here, you can help me, we can make you beds. And she readies beds for you in a side room And she is just overjoyed at the fact that there are children once again in her home.
Aww.
Hey, you need kids? They need a home? Like,
Yeah, really. Maybe
Well,
we can-
their track record with children doesn't seem to have been shooting a 100%.
Well, you know,
like Barovia's track records on.
yeah, it's a tough world here.
Yeah, and they're noble. I mean, are you gonna?
I mean, between Dream Pies and Crovid, I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, this kind of sounds like early 1800s level of survival rate.
Yeah. Too bad.
No, I always imagined Crest to be even further back than that. So, like, I don't know if you've seen some of the sketches and whatnot of like early frontier towns that fur trappers and whatnot had settled not too long after the colonies were first created. But these trapper forts, I mean, this is basically what you're talking about. This is essentially like Fort Vancouver out in the middle of nowhere. If there were Indians, they would be, you know, parlaying with the Native American tribes in the area and crossing their fingers that they're not going to have their heads on pikes by the morning. That's the level here. A lot of a lot of danger clearly surrounds us, and he stokes the fire, and you guys are sitting around, and he says, yes, please, my wife, Alatonia, she is quite happy that the children are here. And he says, the Abbey of St. Markovia, no one from the village visits the Abbey anymore. The Abbey's bell rings at odd times, day and night. And the place is filled with baleful screams and horrible, inhuman laughter that can be heard throughout the village. You may hear some tonight. Do not be startled. This is normal behavior.
So it looks like Irene is not going to be safe here unless we get the crazy person out of the Abbey, I'm guessing.
Yeah, what's her response to this supposed safe haven now that she's learning about it?
She is attempting to help the Burgermeister's wife with the children and setting the table. And Irina, being the daughter of the Burgermeister, adopted daughter of the Burgermeister of Barovia, she seems unlike some of the other burgomeisters or their children. She's clearly been brought up as a noble, but she seems more of a person of the people. She is fearful because clearly she is in danger. Even though she herself, I mean, she wears plate armor and wields a longsword, she is clearly capable of defending herself. But in this situation, she is out of her element. She's not able to fend off Strahd, and so this has turned her view of the world completely upside down. She says that she feels safer here than she did in Vallaki, because clearly Vallaki's under a lot of political change right at the moment, thanks to, I don't know, somebody we might know. And she, as far as how she feels safer here, but you know, that seems tenuous at best.
I want to visit the Abbey and see what is going on there.
I'm all about visiting the Abbey with my newfound clericness.
So the last long rest that we had, could I have attuned to that holy symbol? Because I wanted to do that, we sort of glossed over the...
Right, yeah, I would assume that by now you've attuned to the holy symbol.
Cool, I feel confident going to the Abbey then, without Irina though.
As you are sitting around the fire and having bowls of borscht, which seems to be all they ever eat here.
Yeah.
You hear bells start ringing, but these are not the bells that you heard from the Abbey as you were approaching. These are more like alarm bells coming from the wall of Kresk.
Are
Let's
the
go see.
werewolves coming in?
I'm
Is
sorry.
the wine shipment here?
Yeah. Oh, the wine's here. Hold on. Ding, 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 ding.
No, they said like wolves or werewolves were attacking and the wine was supposed to show up, right? Or
They said that that werewolf attacks are frequent in the area, and that there is a known werewolf lair nearby.
okay, never mind.
And this bell's just ding, 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 and the Burgermeister Dimitri, he looks out. He moves the blinds aside and he looks out and he says, "No, there seems to be some kind of attack going on against the wall," and he reaches into a side closet and pulls out a breastplate and is strapping it on. He says, "I must go and help my men."
Do you need any assistance?
Any assistance that you would be willing to give would be very much appreciated.
I need no reason to set people on fire.
You didn't have to twist my arm. So you come out into the town proper, and when you start to get to a point where you can see the wall through the trees, you can hear screams and battle going on, and you see a werewolf climbing up over the battlements. Hold on here.
All right, let's kill it. It's an abomination, Benzie.
How far away would you say that is?
Well, hold on here. A huge werewolf. No, he's not that big.
Look at it. Wow.
It's not so much climbing over the fence as just kind of stepping over it.
Right?
Yes, okay. At least as good as I could have. Slowly just try to just go over.
So there are 3 groups of werewolves. Each group has 3 werewolves in it. One group has climbed over the wall, so there are 3. You guys. Ah. Right about there, we'll say Pepper's right there. So, these 3 werewolves that have climbed over the wall, they're probably a good 60 feet away from where you're at.
Okay.
They're close enough, and a light snow has started to fall. There doesn't seem to be much of a breeze. You're close enough that you can smell the blood in the air.
Cool.
I don't know if you've ever cut yourself on a really cold day, but you don't have to get close to the blood. You can smell the iron in the air, and that's what you're smelling here from the dead guards that have been tossed over the wall's edge. Everybody roll initiative.
Woohoo! Soft 20.
Big numbers, big numbers.
$11 for Mike.
Okay, hold on just a second. Okay. So Pepperell got a 22. Curious, you got a 5?
No, I got 19.
Okay. What did Mike get?
11.
Helga?
7.
Okay.
I got actually a soft 20, not a 22.
Okay. Okay. So, Pepperell, you see these three, no, actually, they get to go first. So, these werewolves, are attempting to also climb the wall, but they are having a tough time.
They just got their nails trimmed. It's hard.
Yes, yes. So Pepperell, you see 60 feet away, you see these three werewolves that have made it over the wall and have clearly killed a couple of the town guardsmen. What would you like to do?
I will use dash action, move 60 feet, and hopefully end up adjacent to one of them.
Yeah, should not be a problem.
And bonus action, then I'll cast Hex on the one I'm adjacent to.
Okay. All right. So he is hexed.
Strength, disadvantage on strength checks.
Gotcha. All right. Curious the third, what would you like to do?
None of the wolves have gone, correct?
One group is trying to climb the wall, but they didn't roll so well, so they're having some difficulty climbing over the wall.
I will cast my minute meteors,
Okay.
and I'll pick the two that look like they're doing the worst at climbing, and see if I can blast one meteor at each one and knock them off.
So they're on the other side of the wall. You're 60 feet from the wall.
Do I actually see any of them at the moment?
No. You can see the three that Pepperell just moved in on.
Okay, then I'll go after that group then.
Okay. Did you want to move closer or stay where you're at?
Well, let me look at my cast distance for that spell. She's like right in the middle of them, isn't she?
Pepperell, he is standing adjacent to one of them.
Okay, can I hit one, or shoot one that's not right in front of him, but still hit all three?
Sure. You can hit we'll say, I mean, yeah, they're like a triangle. So if you hit the center one, it would do damage to the other two as well.
Cool, I will do that.
Okay.
And they get their dex save for half.
They only got a 13.
They do not save. Well, they get two saves. One per meteor.
Oh, one per meteor. The other one, they got a soft 20.
That saves.
So
the
1.5.
first one, they'll take 6 damage.
Okay.
The second one is for 4 damage.
Okay. So
8 total.
8 total. All right. Anything you want to do with bonus action or movement?
Yeah, actually, no, that's no, yeah, let's go ahead and make this a quick fight. I will spend 1 spell point, or 2 spell points to quicken an action,
Okay.
and I will cast Scorching Ray at the 3 wolves.
Okay. So 3 attack rolls, 1 on each wolf.
Yep. Let's see. First one. Stop rolling. That's gonna be a soft 20 to hit.
That's a hit.
Let's go and do his damage. That's 2, right? For 11 points of damage.
Okay.
The second guy, 12.
That's a hit.
Oh, so that's for him. 6 damage.
Okay.
Third, 17. Sounds like it'll hit for 6 more damage.
Okay. All right. Well, that was productive. On the werewolf turn, these guys.
Whoever's adjacent to me takes their poison damage.
Different group.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Wow, they are having a hard time climbing over the wall as well. Who knew werewolves were so bad at climbing? Mike, what would you like to do? These 3 werewolves that are adjacent to Pepperell and just got lit up by Carice are still there within 60 feet of you.
I'll go into a barbarian rage, because that's always fun.
Okay.
And let's attack the one furthest from Pepperell, because I don't feel like being covered in eyes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, stay away from the flies. Damn it, Pigpen.
29 to hit.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that hits.
For 17 damage.
Okay. Your next attack.
27 to hit.
Yep.
For 11 damage.
Okay. So Mike comes up and basically grabs this werewolf and rends him in half and slops him the 2 halves across the ground, and one of them is done for.
Nice.
Yay, there's much rejoicing.
Yeah.
Now, we won't retcon that, but what weapon were you using, Mike?
I was rolling with my great axe damage, but I would have been using my battle axe.
The new one?
Huh?
The new one?
My battle axe is the silver one.
Oh, yes. Okay, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, silvered weapons are what you need. These are lycanthropes. They're immune. Okay.
She needs to redo her damage. She rolled the wrong damage.
Oh, okay. Nah,
And then-
just leave it. It's fine. He didn't have that many hit points left, so that's fine. Helga, what would you like to do?
I want to get out my crossbow and aim it at the top of the wall, so if one of the werewolves comes over.
Okay, so you're going to ready an action for the first werewolf that pokes their snout over?
Yeah, I'll move forward a little bit too,
Okay.
so that I can have a better shot. And that's what I'll do.
Okay. Okay, so these werewolves take 4 points of damage from flies.
Yep.
And there are only 2 in that group. One is going to attack Pepperell.
Okay.
Let's see here. He is going to make a spear attack.
Werewolves with spears.
Yeah. 23 to hit.
So that does.
1d6 plus 2 for 4 points of piercing damage.
Uses up some of my temporary hit points.
And he will make a claw attack. for a soft 20.
Also hits.
And for that, he does 8 points of slashing damage.
Okay, how healthy does this particular werewolf look?
They're about half down.
Is he the one I hexed?
Yes.
I will cast Hellish Rebuke after he damages me.
Okay.
Dex save DC 15.
He gets an 18 on his save.
Oh, that dick. So he takes half.
Mm-hmm.
19 plus a die 6. 25 points of damage. Well, half of 19. Sorry. 19
Okay.
Plus 6.
So you hellish rebuke him and he dies in a fiery burst.
Okay, he's now a specter. Thank you.
And then the other werewolf is going to attack Mike. Misses with his spear with a 6. And gets a 24 to hit with his claws.
That hits.
The specter's initiative is 3.
Let's use the new rulings. So the new rule is if you have a pet or summoned creature, it's going to go on your initiative count, but it goes after your turn.
It was just interesting that the Cursed Spectre specifically says it rolls its own initiative. I don't mind necessarily, it's specific, which struck me as odd.
Yeah. It seems like in the newer books they've really codified when those get to go. Mostly because, I mean, it starts to get ridiculous with the number of
Sure.
the number of things that can have their own initiative. So Mike takes 8 points of slashing damage. Okay. Werewolves on 21 get to make a climbing check. Athletics. Oh shit. So they rolled a nat 1 and they started to climb up, but then they all three fell down and they all take 3 points of bludgeoning damage from the fall. Pepperell, what would you like to do?
First, I will order the Spectre to go through the wall and start life draining the werewolves on the other side.
So these werewolves?
Yep.
Okay. They will start doing that at the end of your turn.
So it can go through the wall. Plus 8 to hit.
Yep.
Hold on here. Does a 13 hit him?
It does.
Okay, 3 dice 6 necrotic. 10 points. And DC 10 con saving throw.
18 to save.
It does not suffer level drain. But it still takes that damage, 10 points.
Okay.
And then for me, I will attack the next of the 3 that's inside the wall.
Yep.
Move my hex with the bonus action.
Okay.
Is it adjacent to me?
Yes.
Okay, I'll use the Sun Sword.
Okay.
Sweet.
So 16 hit.
It does.
For, where does that say? 7 plus 6. 13 points plus die 6. 4 more. So 17 total.
Okay. So you slice out and you kill the last werewolf in that group.
Cool.
All right.
Nice.
Anything with
I
a
will then use my move to climb to the top of the wall if that's within range.
Sure. Go ahead and make a strength athletics check. No, never mind. You're on the inside of the wall. You don't have to make a strength athletics check because you can, use the stairs. So,
Okay, I'll
yeah,
do that.
that's an option, or a ladder, or some such.
Just make sure you use your 10-foot pole for stability.
A pole vault, yes.
Yes. make sure that each stair that you step on is sturdy before you step.
You do. Okay, that's all for me.
Carice, what would you like to do?
I will use my bonus action to shoot out 2 of my tiny meteors. Pew, pew, pew.
So you don't have any target in line of sight. There's a wall in between you and them.
Oh shit, well, I will keep my concentration on them going then.
Okay.
Yeah, all the ones inside the wall are dead now.
I will make my way over, heading up to the wall to look down at the new ones coming up then.
Okay. All right. You're on the wall. Okay.
Did I have to use both a double movement to get there?
Yeah, because you were still 60 feet away from the wall, so that would have been dash action to get to the wall.
Just double checking.
Okay. Werewolf. So, let's see here. They have a specter on them. They're going to... Well, I guess so let's see. There are 3 werewolves there. They are going to each make an attack on the specter.
Okay.
First one is going to spear. 15 to hit.
He's 12. Yep, that hits.
For... Oh no, look out. Three points of piercing damage.
It's resistant to all non-magical piercing, so it takes 1.
Okay. And a 10 to hit with claws misses.
Yep.
The next one will attack nat 20 with a
Okay.
spear for 10 points of piercing damage.
So it takes 5.
And claw attack misses with a 7. And the last one, spear attack, misses with a 7. $12 to hit
Yes.
for 5 points of slashing damage.
2 more. Okay.
Okay. Mike, what would you like to do?
Mike would like to get over the wall.
Okay. That is a spooky specter. Okay, so Mike, you can use a dash action to get to the top of the wall.
Okay.
Wait, what's your movement?
40.
So no, you could use a dash action to get to the top of the wall, and then if you wanted to, you could jump off the wall.
Can I land on the wolfy thing?
Sure, I would allow that. Go ahead and make
A full action splat like a billy club.
Yeah. Make a strength athletics check. And you have to beat a 6 because that's what they got for their deck save.
Well, I got a 13.
Yep. So you deal 1d6 damage and bludgeoning to the target below you.
3 damage.
Okay, so he takes 1 point of damage, and is or actually no, he takes. I'm sorry, he takes no damage because he's immune to it unless your hooves are silvered. But he is knocked down and is prone. Helga, what would you like to do? So, wait.
My crossbow at the wall in case somebody came over and nobody did, and then all my friends went up on the wall.
Right.
I'll do what all the cool kids are doing and get over there.
Okay. So because you had moved before, you can get to the top of the wall in one movement. You could make an attack from the top of the wall down on to either these guys or these guys.
Well, I actually didn't get my my arrow or my crossbow bolts silvered. I don't think so. I don't think those get turned on. Let me see if there's maybe something I can do to help us out, though.
We could say that you have some of Nyx's silvered crossbow bolts because I know that you had some. I mean, the party had some. Yeah.
Okay. All right, sure. I'll go ahead and do that though. Let me roll for attack. I got 10.
That is a miss.
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. Anything with your bonus action?
Nobody's really hurt, so I don't have a lot of good bonus action right now.
Okay. Okie dokie. Pepperell, what would you like to do?
How tall's the wall?
20 feet.
So I can't use lightning lure from where I'm at to get one of the werewolves.
If you're 10 feet up on a wall and you cast lightning lure, does the lightning hang him?
Drop him? Let him drop him?
No.
Okay, let's see, can I make an acrobatics check to come down off the wall adjacent to one of the werewolves?
You can.
Woohoo! 18.
Yeah. So.
I'll then use my bonus action to hex the one I'm going to attack,
Okay.
and then I'll sun sword him.
All right. I assume that it's going to be strength again.
Yeah, well, the hex is fixed once I've cast hex.
Oh, that's right.
It's the same after I've cast it. So I determine
Gotcha.
it, and then it moves person to person. So
Gotcha.
26 with the sun sword.
Yep, that hits.
For 13 plus the hex damage, 16 total.
Yeah, that smarts. But he's not dead. Do you have another attack?
I already used my bonus to move the hex, so I don't have my whip offhand, but I'm adjacent to him, so on his turn, he'll take the poison damage.
Right, another 4 points from flies. Gotcha.
Yep, and the Spectre will attack +8.
Okay.
Does a 16 hit?
It does.
Or 3 dice 6.
Is he attacking the same one that you just attacked?
Sure, might as well kill one all the way. 13 points for life drain, con DC 10.
Okay. Oof. Oof. That was close. You got a 12.
So he still takes damage, but his hit point total is not reduced.
Right. All right.
Okay, done.
Okay. Werewolves. 2 of them are going to attack Mike. And the third one is once again going to attempt to climb the wall to get at Helga. On Mike.
So one of those attacking ones is the one that I'm standing on?
Yes. One standing adjacent to you misses with a 12 and is going to try to claw you. 15 to hit.
That misses.
And the one on the ground is going to attack at disadvantage with 2 claw attacks. First one misses. The second one is a nat 1. You can go ahead and roll your reaction if you would like.
To smack him with my axe.
Yeah.
Get him, don't let him break.
And you have advantage.
With advantage. 13.
Yes.
For 11 damage.
So you actually crit with the axe. He tries to claw at you, and you just reach down because your hoof is still standing on his chest, and you just bury the axe in the dirt underneath his spine.
Squishy.
Yeah, he's done. The other one is going to make his strength check with a 16. He is able to climb up the wall to get to Helga, and he is going to make 2 claw attacks. 19 to hit.
That's my AC. Yep.
For 4 points of slashing damage. And his
Alright.
second claw attack is a miss with a 9.
Cool.
Let's see here. Wait, what happened? So... Oh, I see. Right. Pepperell's in here twice. Gotcha. So,
Yeah, that 3 was from when I thought the Spectre would have its own initiative.
right, so we will pick up where Carice the third was. Carice,
Sure.
what do you want to do?
Yes. What do I want to do? Well, now that I'm on the wall and I can see him, I will launch 2 more of my meteors. Pew pew as
So-
my bonus action.
So next to you on the wall, there's a werewolf that has climbed up and is attacking Helga. Did you want to attack that werewolf?
No, because this will give splash damage, and I don't want to hit them.
Okay, so do you want to attack the ones that are fighting Pepperell?
If I can, I'll shoot it behind them because I don't have to necessarily hit them. I can hit behind them
Right.
and get them to splash without hitting Pepperell.
Gotcha. So their deck saves. The first one is a 16 to save. The second one is a 14 to save.
First one succeeds, second one does not.
Okay, so 1.5 damage.
So 7 on the first, which was 3. 7, 10 total.
Okay, so the closest one to Pepperell dies in the explosion. The other 2 are still there. They're still dealing with the Spectre. Carrie's.
That's my main,
Yeah, is there anything else you'd like to do?
for my main action, that was my bonus. The one that's on the wall,
Yes.
I will a fire bolt at them.
Okay,
As a gas bomb.
go for it.
That's a. Good. 9,
That's a
I
miss.
think. And that would be my turn.
Okay. Yeah, Helga's ducking her head back. Yeah. Firebolt.
And whatever that thing did hit is now on fire.
Right. The 2 werewolves down here. Let's see. One of them is going to attack. Well, shit. They're both going to attack the Spectre.
If they're adjacent to Pepperell, they take their 4 points.
Right. 14 to hit the Spectre
Yep.
for 5 points of piercing damage.
Okay, cut that in half.
22 to hit the Spectre
Yep.
for 6 points of slashing damage.
Okay, cut that in half.
7 misses. And 9 misses. Alright.
Yep.
Mike, what would you like to do? You have one other werewolf near you, the other one climbed the wall.
The one that's near me, when I pull my axe out of its buddy, can I roar at it and try to intimidate it?
Sure. Go ahead and make your intimidation check.
20?
Yeah. He is intimidated. He will have disadvantage.
Well, cool. Then I'll attack him with that same axe.
Okay.
I'm going to guess a 12 misses.
No, it hits.
Oh, well, I'll do that. For 10 damage.
Okay. Did you have another attack?
Yes. 17 to hit.
That hits.
For 12 damage.
Okay, so that second hit, you bury your axe in him, and he's done for as well.
Well, at least he died scared.
Right. Helga, you have a werewolf in front of you. What would you like to do?
I will attack them with my silvered battle axe.
Okay.
Okay, I rolled completely the wrong die. Alright, let me find the right one. Let's land behind my computer. I got a 18 hit.
That hits.
Yay. Alright, finally get to do some smiting. Let me find the...
So with your bonus action, did you want to throw a smite spell on it?
Is this a healthy werewolf, or...?
He's not hurting that bad. So...
I rolled a 7 for damage. Do you think I should
Oh, yeah.
do more?
So you can, as a bonus action, you can cast a smite spell, and you automatically get divine smite with any melee attack that hits.
Okay, I'll go ahead and do that for divine smite, so that'd be 2 more d8.
Okay, so that'll burn a first level spell slot, and then did you want to throw a smite spell on top of it as well?
No, I think I'm gonna do pretty good because I rolled 7, 7, 8 for my damage. So
Wow.
that's gonna, so that's, what is that all together? That's 22?
Yeah.
Plus your yep.
So he's in,
Yeah, he's not looking real healthy, and you should have another attack.
oh yeah, I do have another attack. Great. Okay. This one is a 12.
That hits.
Just, oh,
Hooray.
You can divine smite on this one as well.
that was one. We just all.
I don't know. I wonder if we're gonna end up going to the. Oh well, that's kind of. It's like right at the last minute. Let's do it.
This is why paladins refer to their spell slots as smite slots. So what'd you get? Yep. I think Helga dropped from Skype chat.
It seems like it.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
I got 13 damage. Yeah.
Okay, so you bring your axe down on this one. You divine smite him twice, and he falls 20 feet off the wall in 2 pieces.
Hooray! The evil's been defeated.
So there was still one. No, there's no werewolves left in that group. There.
The Burgermeister better be impressed.
I think he might be. Pepperell. 2 werewolves left. What do you, or,
How are there still 2 next to me?
yes.
First I'll have the Spectre go, or you want Spectre right after me. So first I'll, is the one that died last round the one with my hex on it, or is the one with my hex on it still alive?
No, you killed the one with the hex.
Okay, so I'll move the hex to one of the 2 now, and do Word of Radiance, con save DC 15 on
Okay.
the other 2.
17 to save.
Nah. So neither of them take damage, then I'll have the Spectre go, plus 8, roll. So 15 hit.
It does.
Spectre's doing better than me lately, but that's what the world is like. 7 points life drain, con save DC 10.
Saves for 12.
Okay, so he still takes the damage.
Yep. But the damage is enough to him that kills one of them.
Okay.
And then, did you have anything else?
No,
Okay.
I did a spell, so no attack bonus. And then I had to move my hex, so no, I'm out of things except for move. I'm gonna stay put.
Okay. Carice, there's 1 werewolf left.
Well, I will go ahead and use the last of my meteors
Okay.
and direct it to a position where it won't hit anybody else.
So he fails.
Item or just item?
How many meteors you got left?
2.
So he fails the first one. He fails the second one.
Oh, sucker. Well, let's see if I can actually roll some decent damage. 7 for the first, 5 for the second, so 12 total.
Okay. He is dead.
Then I'll go ahead and do a happy dance for my main action.
Okay. All right. So we will go ahead and close it up there. We will pick up not next week. I made this mistake last night. I am taking the weekend off for Thanksgiving. We're going to go to Kate's mom's house for the holiday. The 3 of us will have much turkey, and there will be rejoicing. But we will pick it up the week after Thanksgiving. So we will be back then at 12 p.m. on Saturday. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Take care. Happy holidays.
You too.